We're looking at a gentle reminder today from children's author Penny Bloom, and we're going to explore a beautiful, incredibly simple tool for finding just a little bit of calm in the absolute chaos of raising little ones. Let's get into it. I actually want to read a thought to you, and I'm going to read it pretty slowly. I hope this finds you in a quiet moment, maybe with a cup of tea still warm in your hands. Just imagine that warmth against your palms right now, whether you're holding a coffee, a cup of tea, or honestly, even just sitting down for the very first time all day. Give yourself permission to just be here, to pause. You really don't have to fix anything right now. You don't have to plan a single thing. Just listen and breathe. And that quiet moment is so necessary right now because we're in this undeniable season of transition. It's that very specific feeling of summer tipping toward the new school year. You know the feeling, right? The light changes just a little bit, the evenings get a tiny bit cooler, and we start to feel that sort of invisible hum in the air. It's a transition. And transitions, even the really joyful ones, they just naturally shift our daily rhythms. They ask our bodies and our minds to change gears, which takes so much energy from both us and our kids. And with that shift, we almost always see this happen. The days start getting busier and they get a little more rushed. There are new schedules to figure out, forms you've got to sign, shoes to buy that actually fit those growing feet. Suddenly, those slow, kind of messy mornings of summer are completely replaced by the pressure of getting out the door on time. If you have been feeling that familiar tightness in your chest, that sense of rushing from one task to the next, please know that it is so completely normal. You are doing a wonderful job in a busy season and there is absolutely no judgment here. That's exactly why I wanted to share this with you today. I really want to offer you an invitation, a small thing to bring the calm back. And notice I said a small thing. We are definitely not adding a massive new project to your to-do list. As parents, the literal last thing we need is another complicated system to master or some heavy expectation on our shoulders. This is just a quiet, reassuring alternative to the rushing. It's simply an invitation to pause. And here is the absolute best part. 5. That's it. That is all it takes. Just 5 minutes. I really want that number to bring you a sense of immense relief. You do not need to block out an hour. You don't need to pack a bag or prep snacks or buy any special supplies at all. There is literally zero planning required for this. Just 5 gentle minutes out of your day to reset your nervous system and your child's nervous system. So what are we actually doing in those 5 minutes? We're practicing what Penny Bloom calls the quiet skill of presence. When we intentionally slow down and really, truly notice the world around us, we're doing something so incredibly powerful. We're modeling for our kids what it looks like to be fully in the moment. We can't simply tell a 4-year-old to be mindful, right? We have to show them. And the beautiful secret here is by showing them, we're actually teaching ourselves how to find that quiet center again. The really beautiful thing is that connection doesn't have to be complicated. When the day feels chaotic and everyone feels just a little disconnected or prickly, this quiet skill of presence is one of the absolute simplest ways to soften that stress. It just naturally smooths out the rough edges of the afternoon. It gives you and your little one a chance to simply exist next to each other, breathing the same air and feeling close again, without any pressure or demands. So, how do we actually do this? Well, it comes down to one really simple nature activity called the I notice game. It sounds incredibly basic, I know, but that is exactly where its magic lies. It requires absolutely nothing but your attention and a willingness to just share a moment of quiet curiosity with your child. You can play this game in such a beautifully low-stakes environment. A simple 5-minute walk around the block is absolutely perfect. Or even just a wander in your own backyard. You definitely don't need to drive out to a state park or find some pristine forest. The magic of the world is happening right outside your door, on your driveway, or even in that small patch of grass behind your apartment. It's right there, waiting for you. To play, you simply take turns finishing this sentence. I notice. That's the whole game. You invite your child to focus on their senses, something they can see, maybe something they hear, smell, or feel. It acts as this gentle little anchor, bringing their wandering, busy little minds right back into their bodies and into the space you're sharing together. You might start and say, I notice the leaves dancing in the wind. And then your child might point up and say, I notice that cloud looks like a dragon. Or maybe it's just, I notice the crunchy sound my feet make on the gravel. Just let those beautiful, simple sensory details wash over you for a moment. That calm connection, that's exactly the feeling we're looking for. And please, please remember, there are no wrong answers here. If your child just says,
I notice a stick. Well, that's wonderful. They noticed a stick. This isn't a vocabulary test. It's definitely not a performance. It's just about shared experience. It's about looking at the world through the exact same window for just a few minutes. So release any pressure to make it profound. The connection itself is what's profound.
What's also really wonderful is how this game naturally grows right along with your child. For our little ones, those toddlers age 2 to 4, they might just point with a tiny finger and say a single word, like bird or rock, and you just validate that. Yes, I noticed the rock too. But for bigger kids around 5 to 8, they love stretching their imaginations. They might make it incredibly detailed or wonderfully silly. Embrace whatever they bring to it. It's all just a form of connecting.
Now, this brings us to how this actually looks in real life, because let's be honest, childhood isn't always quiet walks in the backyard. Sometimes it's just chaotic. So here is a really gentle parenting tip you can use as a grounding tool when the day feels totally out of control, when you're incredibly rushed, or when your child seems wildly distracted and just unable to focus.
When we see our kids bouncing off the walls or rushing around, our very natural parenting instinct is to just command, slow down. But often, that really just creates more friction, doesn't it? So instead, try this invitation. Let's play one round of I Notice before we keep going. Just feel how much softer that is. It completely replaces a command that a child is probably going to resist with an invitation they actually want to accept.
When you offer that invitation, it acts like this soft tether. It brings them gently right back to the present. You see, when a child is rushed or distracted, their brain is just moving way too fast. This simple pivot interrupts that chaotic momentum. It grounds them, asks them to use their senses, and just gently pulls them back to the current moment, right there by your side. And honestly, this is the most beautiful part of the whole approach. It does all of this without ever feeling like a correction. You completely remove the friction, the sighing, the inevitable power struggle of trying to control their behavior. You're bypassing the correction entirely and going straight for connection. You're guiding them back to calm without ever making them feel like they were doing something wrong. As we get near the end of our time together today, I want to offer you a little layer of grace. Just a little encouragement. You don't need long hikes or perfect weather for this. If it's raining out, play I Notice looking out the kitchen window. If you only have time while you're walking from the car to the grocery store entrance, play it right there. Let go of any pressure to do this perfectly. Your presence is what matters, not the backdrop. I really want to leave you with this final thought from Penny Bloom. I'll read it slowly and just let the words settle into your heart. Even 5 minutes of truly noticing together can create a little pocket of peace in an otherwise busy day. You know, you deserve those pockets of peace, and you are more than capable of creating them, just 5 minutes at a time. And so, I'll leave you with this one soft question. What will you and your little one notice today? Thank you so much for pausing with me. Be gentle with yourself and really enjoy finding those little pockets of peace. Until next time.